Dr. Paul Yip, welcome to the South China Morning Post studios.
My pleasure.
It's great to have you here. I want to start by talking about various studies have shown mental health in Hong Kong is at its worst level in 8 years. Just how bad is the situation right now?
I think we are seeing this sort of situation very widespread, and it also, we have not seen the end of the tunnel yet. And then it happened not only affecting one age group, it is the whole community was being affected by the social movement in the past 4 months.
And why are recent protests affecting people's mental health so negatively?
I think when you see, because the demonstration itself there's so much violence scene. I think it has been played on the TV and then 24 hours and then come in and come out. So it actually, whether you participate or not participate in a demonstration, it doesn't really matter because you are so close to the action. And there's a lot of people and they're so addicted, I think, to this television viewing. So it actually, they spend a lot of time attaching to this. It does affect, I think, our mental wellness.
Obviously, this is a time of great stress in the city, but besides protests, Hong Kong itself is a very stressful place. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think in Hong Kong we have been known to have been one of the longest working hours, I think, in the world. I think on average, I think over 60% of the people, they work more than 50 hours a day. And also, we have a very, very tiny private space. Our living environment is very congested. So it actually, I think it does affect, I think, the overall mental wellness in the community. So job-wise, I think it's very stressful, and then there's a lot of people, I mean, they have to work 2 or 3 jobs, I think, to make their ends meet. And at the same time, because our living space itself is also very congested, so it turns out that we just do not have any space mentally and physically, I think, to be able to take a rest or to take a break from a hectic schedule, I think, in Hong Kong.
And therefore, when the protests happen, you physically can't move away from it. So I want to ask you, how is happiness measured? What is the science behind it?
Well, I think happiness can be measured in different domains. I think sometimes it's some sort of the inner satisfaction of your life. So sometimes if you feel of hope, even I think external factors are not that favorable, but you still have the hope, but you still think that at the end of the day, I think you have a better future. I think the worst case, I think, is the people, they feel the sense of hopelessness, and also they have this sense of helplessness, I think, to overturn or to change the situation, that we are being trapped in the situation that we cannot have a breakthrough. So that is where the frustration comes in.
Well, that brings me to a recent opinion piece that you wrote. I think one of the quotes is, "We need to change, adapt and respond. Denouncing violence is not disowning our youth, but an act of love and care for our future generation." Can you elaborate on that for me?
This time, this demonstration is really dominated by our young people. And actually, I think over 30% of being caught by the police, they're actually the age 18 or less. So what we are seeing, this is a group of young people. They might not be very mature, but their heart are pure. I think they're really fighting for what they believe it is right. But unfortunately, it could be due to their inexperiences to look at the situation, and sometimes I think they do not really pay much attention, I think, to the complexity of the issue. So now what we have seen, the people, I think they're hurt, and then they've been picked up by the police, but they still continue this violence. I mean, because they believe that it's only the violence can achieve what they aspire for. But the very, very important thing we would like to inform the young people is that this vandalism, this violence, it would not achieve what you aspire for. On the other hand, it would even make it more difficult for you to achieve what you aspire for. And when we say denounce the violences, what we really hope is to give a break to the whole community such that our young people will not get hurt, or some of them, from what we see, they might get killed. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, when we see the 2 young students, they got shot, they nearly died. So I think what we really like to do is give a break to everybody, and then we are not disowning our youth. We care so much about them, and which we should fight. We should improve, I think, their youth mobility. We should improve the existing infrastructure to give them sufficient opportunity to develop themselves. But at this moment, we have to tell them very clearly that you do not hurt yourself and you do not hurt other people and you should not harm yourself, because whatever you are doing this, you are not getting what you want to.
What are the telltale signs of someone suffering from depression?
Well, I think you can see, I think there's a lot of people in Hong Kong this day. Sometimes they speak for themselves, they talk to themselves, and sometimes they lose sleep, they lose their appetizers, and some of them, they're just so addicted to this sort of demonstration activities over the weekend. And after that, they'll lose interest of everything. So I think now if you detect, or even ourselves, I think sometimes if you are depressed, if you lose interest on the things, and then you suddenly put on a lot of weight, or you're trying to hide yourself from the rest of the population, I think that is something that we should pay attention to. And I think the important thing is to realize that these are the problem, and then we have to face it, and then you just cannot switch under the carpet and think that it doesn't exist. It is there, it is a problem.
Dr. Yim, I want to ask you on that note, if you think someone you know is sort of having these difficulties, what is the best way to help?
Well, the best way to help is to show that you care. So I think the one thing is very important that I think what we see in the past few months, sometimes we entangle ourselves in an argument, even with, because we do not agree on whatever happened. But so what happened if you really care for your friends? Put down your differences, show your care, show your support. Now we can see there's a lot of conflicts, I think, within the family. I mean, the parents, they do not talk to the children. The children, they do not talk to the parents too. But what we really want to show that, I mean, is this relationship, this parental relationship, friendship, it lasts much longer than these political activities.
Now, what sort of support resources are available for those who actually need professional help in Hong Kong?
Well, I think in Hong Kong we are very fortunate. We have the NGO and a non-government organization with wider support. I think in our center we work with 3 NGOs to provide this 24 hours online crisis support for our young people. So if they do not want to call, they can text in, and then we have the counselor at the back, to provide the 24 hours a day, support, for our young people. I think it's very important that the young people know that it's okay not to be okay, and it is a sign of courage for the people who can reach out to seek help. I think seeking help is no weakness. No, it is a success that you know the problem, and then you face the problem, and then you're trying to find the way to deal with the problem.
Well, Dr. Paul Yip, thank you so much for your perspective and your time for coming into the South China Morning Post today.
My pleasure.